Yo, what's up guys? We're back. Do you want to base? Do you got to base your models? You want to base them quickly? Well, today, Stacy's never based before.
Nope, not once.
And that's a good thing. She's never based the miniatures base either. Decorated the models base. Yo, what's up? We back again. So do you want to base? Do you know how to base?
I don't.
She has never based before in her life, which is a good thing. Say no to drugs, okay? In this video, we're going to be showing my technique, one of my techniques for basing a lot of models, even entire armies, in a very quick period of time. Here we have some Chaos Space Marines that have been painted decent. They're not painted terribly bad. They're painted pretty good. You know what I'm saying? But they have not been based. These fellas. Got them. Boom, you see it. One for her and one for me. We're going to be taking these models and we're going to be basing them. Let's do it. So let's see. Let's pick a few things. Firstly, would you hand me that over there? That paint? Yep. Yeah. So when I base models using this method, you can use, of course, if you wanted to, you can use, I mean, really, you could use glue. Some people use glue. You could use Abaddon Black. Some people use that. I mean, it's cheaper to just use pretty much, you can use pretty much any acrylic that
That's
you
just
want.
my acrylic paint.
Right.
From painting canvases.
Right. You can use a little palette paper. You can use any acrylic that you want, really. It doesn't matter too much. So, now let's see here. This does matter. What do we want to do? What kind of, any interest in basing that you want to do? Which one of these tufts we could...
They're red and gold.
So let's do a grass one. We'll do one with grass. And we'll give it some tufts. We'll give it the flowers. Give it some flowers. And the other one, I guess I'll just pick it all out because you've never done it before. And then we'll go from there.
Foliage?
Oh yeah, we will. Let's use that green flock. That's static grass. With maybe a little bit of that one. And let's see if we want some leaf litter on some of them. We'll put a little, yours is going to be more of an autumny thing, so we'll put a little leaf litter on there. We got autumn leaf litter, there we go. And then, let's see here. We'll put one of these, yeah, let's just put one of these down for the fun of it. So we can actually see what we're doing here. Alright, so what you're going to need are some paper plates. I like to use paper plates because this allows me to do a whole bunch of models at one time and let them sit there so that the flock or static grass or snow or whatever I'm using has a chance to dry and to really like not just dry the very surface layer, but it lets it sit there for a second and soak in and dry on a little bit more, hold a little bit more of it, and then afterwards you can just fold the plate and put all the stuff right back in its container. So first you're going to take a bunch of black. I usually use, some people, you can use green, you can use whatever color you want really. And I put a lot of it, a bunch of it. Okay, then you're going to need, I'm going to show you how to do this, and then we'll both do it at the same time, and we'll see how it goes for you. So then you're going to want a brush that isn't really tiny, isn't really fine tip, but you don't want it to be a super nasty end on it either, like a dry brush or something. So like this brush is a good example. It's relatively thick, but it's still got a fine point on it. What is this one? That's what this one is. Okay, so then what you're gonna do is take a model, right? And you get a bunch of paint, and you're gonna start painting. Now, these guys have the big gaps between their feet, and I kind of just noticed that now. What you can do is you can put a small piece of paper and glue it over top of that. You can put, there's a lot of different things you can use to block that, to clog that opening. I'm just going to ignore it for now. So what you want to do is start painting just the top edge, and you want to paint all the way up to their feet. You want to try not to get their feet covered too much at all, because anything that you cover, the flock is going to stick to. But at the same time, it's not a huge deal, because, you know, if you say you're using grass for your flock, well, if they're an army and the guy's running through the grass, then there's a chance that some of the grass would get stuck on his bottom of his boots, you know. So it's not a huge deal if some of it gets on him, on his feet. But so you just get them all colored, all painted all the way like that. Just the top layer. Don't worry about the sides at all yet. Try not to get on the sides at all. And then I take it over my paper plate usually. And I'll actually, if I have a big container like this, I'll do it over the container itself. But once you have that big, huge mound of extra on there, don't shake it off. Set it on the plate and just let it stay. Let it sit and go on to the next one. That's it, really. So here's your models, your 10.
Yeah.
For yours, instead of using this grass, let's try and use...
Autumn.
You think is that too brown and red for you, or do you like the other one more? This one's very brown and red. Which one would you rather have? This one's much lighter.
I mean, it'd be more contrast if I use the green.
That's what, this one?
Mm-hmm.
Then do it. Whatever you prefer. You know, it doesn't matter at all. That's the beauty of basing, is really you have just as much freedom, if not more freedom, to do whatever you want with it. Because a lot of times when you're painting, like you can see these guys are painted in a certain scheme. I think this is like the corn. I'll have to look up what this scheme is called. Something corn. But what do you? Oh, I thought you had something to say. Mm-hmm. All right, so you know that's how you do the first one. Let's go ahead and just dive into it and see how long it takes us to do these guys. It shouldn't take long at all. Remember, try not to get paint on the sides of the vase, the rim of the vase. If you do, I usually just use my finger to wipe it off. But you can glob it on there. You don't want huge globs on the base itself, just because then your black paint, there's a lot of reasons why I don't want a huge glob, you know what I'm saying, unless that's the specific look that you're going for. So you don't want to get any on the sides. If you do, like this here, say you did that accidentally, you just take your finger and wipe it off. That's it. Boom. Once again, once you have it, so you can go ahead and start whenever you want. Yeah, do your thing. Do your thing. Get a bunch on there and then just set it down and let them dry just like that. Big old stacks of them. Let's do it. You know what we've done too? We might as well. Boom, let's pull this out. Let's see. Let's see, shall we? Boom. Let's see how long it takes us to base these guys. Not that we're in a huge hurry, but let's see. And it's important, I will say a note right here real quick. It is important that when you are sprinkling your static grass or your flock or sand or snow or anything you're using, when you're putting it on these guys, you have to sprinkle it between your fingers. Don't take big clumps and drop it on top of it. It will not stick properly. It won't look good. You have to actually take it. You have to actually take it and don't just drop it, but sprinkle it between your fingers like that. Sprinkle big mounds on there. Sprinkle. Set it to the side. That's it. And then keep riding. Look, she's never done it before. She's halfway done. And of course, this is just the first step, but the first step is by far the longest step. This is a quick process. Really, one of the main things you want to be careful of is just not to get paint on the side of it, because you don't want flock or static grass or whatever sticking to the side of your base. Boom. Ha. Yeah, those are looking, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. With the static grass, sometimes you gotta actually put a little pressure with your finger, like to sprinkle it on there, and then you go around and push it down just a tiny bit afterwards to help it stick. Because static grass, unlike the flock that I'm using, I guess it's all types of flock, whatever, but the static grass clumps. It can clump very bad, so it's very important to do the old finger sprinkle, old finger sprinkleton. The finger sprinkle with the static grass is especially important. How you feel basing for the first time?
I feel
Heart's
good.
pumping.
I can't mess it up.
No, I meant from basing.
I know.
One more. Let me go ahead and get ready for round two. Round two. Boom. For round two, we have the lowland shrubs. I'm going to be using them on the shrubberies.
O Knights of Ni, we have brought you your shrubbery. May we go now?
It is a good shrubbery. I like the laurels particularly.
Shrubs. Okay. These are the flower shrubs. Don't let them fool you. Oh, wait. No, they're not. Usually these, almost this exact, I think it is this exact same one, but the very tips of it, they paint yellow, and they call it the flower shrubs or whatever. But that's fine, because one thing you can do, and one thing that I plan on doing, is you can paint these yourself. So you can change the color to whatever you want. After you get that first layer done, then you take it and start with the one, if you can remember, it's not a huge deal, but it's best to start with the one that you put the flock on first. You want to start with you're going to shake off the excess on your paper plate, but you want to start with the model that you did first if you can help it. It's not a huge deal to use, the exact order that you use, but the longer the model was sitting, the longer the paint had time to grab onto the flock or the static grass or whatever. So, take it, here, I'm just going to do it on the plate. Take the model, turn them sideways, tap him, and then spin him and tap him more, because static grass and stuff will get stuck underneath their feet. And then set them off to the side, not on your paper plate, because you're going to need to dump everything on your paper plate soon. Give him a little tap, taparoo.
Just tap it in. Just tap it in. Give it a little tappy. Tap, tap, taparoo.
Sweet. Oh, I just remembered. We didn't stop the timer. We took a quick break, like 1 minute, 2 minutes maybe, and didn't stop timer. That's all right. Oops. Oh well. We'll see how fast it is with that. So once you have it all on your plate, all your excess, then you can take your plate, fold it, dump it all in. Easy as that. Put the lid on it and save it for next time. Okay, boom. I'm just going to leave my guys right there for now so they're separated. How's the tapping going? And you can see now, this is what the first layer looks like. Like I said, it's got this big ugly gap in there. If I wasn't recording when I started this, you know what I mean, then I would have put something over top of that gap to fill that gap so he didn't have a big gap between his legs. But it's not the end of the world. A lot of bases don't have the slit. It depends on what type of base you're using, the slotted bases. Okay, so she's done with first step. I'm done with first step. Now what you need is a pair of these. Unless you're putting on a second layer of the original basing or something else, sometimes you will put a second layer on first. But usually you'll go straight to putting on your tufts of grass in your lowland shrubs. So I've got a couple different kinds here. go ahead and grab one of your models and pull it over here.
Okay.
Whoa! So this has got 4 different flavors inside it of shrub. Let's look. Do you want to use any of those with your guy? This is what hers looks like. On bottom, not bad. Do you want to use any of these?
Yeah, sure.
Or this one over here? You're going for a little more of an autumn look, so you're going to be using some of these orange flowers, autumn flowers.
Maybe some of these darker.
Which one do you want? Which
let's try
one's
the dark.
Here, you can use them both. So what you're going to do is, I'm going to do it on my model first, so you can see.
Okay.
Get these out of here. Okay, so the way I like to do it is I take some glue, some Elmer's glue,
Crazy art.
or school glue, whatever you want to call it, you know what I'm saying? This is just the ghetto brand of school glue. It's clogged. That's why I don't need a ton. Just a little bit, and you're going to need a little bit. I'll glue you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. It's what she's always wanted. Alright, let's see. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to figure out, when you look at these, on one side, like you can see here on the left, is smaller ones, and on the right are bigger ones. You can actually cut the bigger ones up to make them smaller if you want, but they kind of have like a weird rubbery plasticky thing on the bottom, so it doesn't always cut the easiest. I am going to start with a small one, or a medium. I'm going to start with a medium. So the way I like to do it is you grab it low, don't pinch too hard because it'll clip it, and then you peel from the side, and you usually come loose, and you can see it's got that little thing on the bottom of it. Then I like to tap it to the glue. See, there's a huge ass glue ball on there. Now we don't need that. Let's lower that down. Okay, that's not as intrusive. And then you pick the spot you want, you know what I mean, to put it on the guy. I'm just going to put this one in the middle. See what I mean? And then you push it down, and that's it. Voila! And then you just do them all.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? It's that quick. Let me see. I don't see another. I know I got more pliers in there. I don't see another pair in here. So, ladies first.
Okay.
Go ahead. Let's see how you do here. And you can put two. You can put 2 things on one base if you want. You can put 3, 4. You know what I mean? Depends on what you're trying to do. I find if you put too much stuff on a base, it really can take away from it. It like clogs the image, you know what I mean? So you just take one, pull it off like that, stick it to the glue. It's way more glue than you're going to need, and most of the time it'll have way more than you need, so you tap it back down on the plate to get rid of some. And you just put it where you want it. Stick it down. Press it down. Remember, with crazy glue, or not crazy glue, with school glue, it dries clear, you know what I mean? Unless you're doing like some huge, massive, gargantuan pile of glue, then it's going to dry clear. So, if there's a little bit showing on the outside of your flowers or whatever you're doing, it's no big deal. You don't got to worry about it. It's going to dry clear. Alright. Start running through them. Oh yeah, that's right. You know what? I'm going to try doing this. You want them to look uniform to a degree, because of course it's all the same land, it should match. You know what I mean? Unless you're trying to do some funky transition. But you don't want it to look too uniform, because then it won't look real at all. Because if you were out walking in the wild, they wouldn't all be standing with a bush, a little weed right in the same exact place between their legs, like a lot of people do.
Just like walking through a real forest.
Yeah. Yep. You're gonna try and mimic that if you can. I think this is my first time ever doing this with my fingers, but it's working. Next time I'll grab another pair of clippers before we record. Boom. You want to give at least one tuft to every single base. Many of them you want to give 2. You have to make sure you do have enough glue on the bottom of their base. If you don't have enough glue on the bottom of the base, then there's a chance that it'll like flip off and fall off, especially in transit. going to play, you don't want to go play and then have it fall off. Boom, mine are looking pretty good. Let's see, what am I going to add to it? Let's make it a little more fancy. I don't want green so much. You know what? I'll put a little scatter foliage on mine. Scatter foliage. Let's see, it's a brown stuff. Look, they gave me a jar full of tobacco here. Hey, ready for your pipe, laddie? Yeah. Twist it up and smoke it. It's ready. Look at it. It does look like tobacco. Don't smell like it though. It smells like glue.
Oh, it smells like glue.
Yeah, it does. So how you doing? You almost done there?
I'm almost done here.
She's got 2 left. It looks like.
Deciding where the bushes are gonna grow is hard work.
Do you need more glue?
No, I should have enough to finish up.
All right.
Because I only have one guy left now.
Nice. The last guy.
The whole time.
Okay, sweet. We are almost done with this. That's how quick it is when you're basing them like this. And really, we're like talking and teaching and taking our time doing it. You know what I mean? If you were sitting with the headphones in or a movie playing or something, you know what I mean? You were going, we'd be able to do this quick. Okay, boom,
everybody.
That's the second step. Okay, so then we get rid of our shrubs. We get those out of the way. See ya. See ya. Okay, now the last thing to do that we're going to be doing is we're going to be adding another layer of stuff on here. On mine, for example, I'm going to be using the scatter foliage some, which I've never used that brown scatter foliage before. So you're going to take a little glue. You got to open the bottom so it'll work. You take a little glue, put it there. Don't put it too thick. See how that's pretty thick? That's okay because it's not towards the edge of the base. If it was on the edge of the base, it would eventually run over, odds are. So I'm going to put a little tiny bit up there. I'll put an even smaller bit here on the back. Because once again, you got to remember, like, you know, if this was in the woods or whatever, there wouldn't, odds are there wouldn't just be one tiny little thing of foliage there. Alright, so put the second layer on, kind of push it down on top of it. Put it on, push it down a little bit so it goes into that glue. And then just like when you put on the first layer, set them to the side, set them and forget them. You know what I mean? You just set them and forget them. You know what else you can do? Another method, not just using straight up the bottle, pouring it onto the base, which is, I mean, I guess I do it about 50-50. I use these two methods. You can put the glue on your plate or whatever you're using and use a brush to apply it. You just have to make sure you're using the right brush. Here, let me clean these off real quick. I'll clean them better in a minute. You just got to make sure you're using the right brush. You don't want to use like your nicest brush for putting glue on. You know what I'm saying? That's not a smart move. So let's see here. I guess you can just use that one. That'll work fine.
Yeah, that's good.
So she can take here. Let me show one on mine, just so you know.
Yeah.
You can take the glue, get it on the brush just like you would paint, essentially, and put your globs where you want it. A little bit there. I'll put a bunch between this guy's back feet, and I'm going to connect it from foot to foot, so it looks like he's standing in a pile of leaves, kind of. All right, there's that. And then you'll, like I said, you put it on there, push it down some, make sure it's completely covering. Push it down. There you go.
I'm going to be using these two.
Here, I'll show them on here. She's going to be using these ones. Wow, nice. Now, those are leaf litters.
Very nice.
And then almost done. Cool. Now let the artistic talents and creativity flow. Get it flowing. Let's see. All right, let's go. Let's finish these boys.
Yeah.
Let's get a big one between his legs. You know, I'm just gonna do it like this. Is fine.
Oops.
You will drop models once in a while, especially if you're not using a model holder to paint with. Which, when you're basing, you really can't. Not if you're basing like this. I always really enjoyed basing. I mean, I probably enjoy basing more than painting.
It's relaxing.
Oh yeah. That guy, I'm putting a big ball of glue there because I'm gonna put a mound of leaves on it and mash it down. Because he had nothing else around it, so I could do that. Normally, you wouldn't do that because it looked like crap. If you're too close to the edge, use your finger, wipe it off. Get out of there. Oh, and look, overflowing. That's all right. Boom. Oh wait, no, I gotta put my excess in there. How's it going?
Good. It's going. They're looking leafy.
Alright, you got 4 left. Ooh, this is taking a while. We're almost at there. We'll have it done in less than 30 minutes. Which, considering the stop and everything, that's not bad. Okay, while she's finishing that off, the last thing you do is just like when you're putting on that first layer. After it sits for a minute, you take it and you tap off the base. And then go ahead and give it a look and see if there's any that you want to remove, like stuck in the weeds or anything like that. If you do, you can use a dry brush to remove it. Or you can use some of your clippers or whatever. Usually just tapping it'll do it. Maybe a little flick with the dry brush. I take my finger and I rub it around the rim of the base, usually when I'm done. Jeez, I wasn't expecting this brown stuff I used. What is it? Scatter foliage? Just regular scatter foliage to get so stuck in my bushes, my little shrubs.
Yeah, I might have overdone it with my shrubs just a little.
What do you mean?
I'm having a hard time getting the leaves.
That's
I
alright.
filled it with shrubs.
Well, leaves land on shrubs.
I know. That's everybody.
Alright, sweet. Now start doing what I'm doing. Flip them over, start knocking off all the excess. If you need a dry brush to knock anything out of your shrubs, go ahead and knock that out. Depending on what you're using, usually you don't have to use the dry brush to knock stuff out. And what you're basing, what materials you're using. This little scatter foliage brown stuff I used, the tobacco foliage I used, stuck in the shrubs real bad, but that's okay, it's coming right out. With a flick of a brush. Now, if you really want, when you're done with this, you can look at it and determine whether the rim of the bases needs to be painted black or not. A lot of times, the rim of the base will have paint on it, and it just doesn't look good. So your best bet then is to take some good old Abaddon black and go around the outside of the base. That's what I recommend, at least. That's what I usually do. Boom. Some of these guys. Like right there. See that white mark? Perfect example of how to tap that with a little black, little touch of black. And just like this. And it's gone. That's it. You know what I mean? It's so easy. And you could go around all your bases and do that to every base if it needed it, if it bothered you, if there's stuff on there, whatever. But so, you can see. Here's one. Here's a old Jim Bobby. It's got stuff hanging from I can't get. You can see a couple layers of basing material on this guy. And it makes a big difference. Let's get this out of the way. How you doing?
Good, I'm about done.
How do you like it?
Good, I like how my little guys turned out.
That's what I'm talking about. Then I'm just going to set them up in the old school 10-man squad view where they're all in line and not just randomly in a big 10-pack. Your guys are looking awesome.
Yeah,
your guys
good.
look so much better than mine.
No.
Well, it's because, I think so personally, yes, but it's because of the basing schemes that we used. I think the autumn base scheme with those colors looks, here, let's get rid of this.
Oh, yeah. Makes me want to grab them.
I saw that, you're like, they're flying away.
Yeah.
Go ahead and set them up. Okay, the way these guys get set up, they don't have to be set up this way, but you have your sergeant in the middle, then a heavy on one side, then a special on the other side, and then a guy. All the rest of them are just regular guys.
They're just guys. It's just dudes being guys.
Just dudes being guys, that's it.
Dudes being guys.
Just all chaotic. They're all chaos.
They're all chaotic dudes just being chaotic.
They're all chaotic dudes being chaotic guys. So that's it. Boom! We did it. How'd you like it? Look, it took us a little over 30 minutes, but we did take a little break here and there. You know what I mean? Just a quick little restart the camera.
Yeah, restart the camera.
Right. Grab something
supplies.
here or there that we forgot. So let's see them. Let's get a good up close picture of these boys. Okay, let's look.
Maybe spin them around.
So they did look like something before, but now they look like this. Much better. Look at hers. Didn't really like that before. Now they look like this.
Those guys in the foliage.
Boom. Just like that. I hope you guys liked the video. I hope maybe you learned something. This is just one of the techniques that I use to get armies done quickly. I really like doing it like this. What do you think about it?
Yeah, that was fun.
Simple, right?
Yeah, very simple.
Basing it's a lot easier than painting, so don't let it intimidate you at all. It's fun, and once you have the materials, you know what I mean, it's dope. Basing is awesome. So, but don't do drugs, okay? This kind is awesome. But that's it. Hope y'all have a great day out there. If you haven't already, like, subscribe. What's up? Appreciate you. Until next time. Peace.